Tuk tuk tuk. Tuk tuk tuk. What's going on? I procrastinated almost the entire day, but I'm feeling good, so I guess it's okay. Oh, it is so good. There's so unhealthy. God damn it. Oh my days. Who? Who is? Oh my god. Okay. Okay, we do this later. We do this later. We do this later. We do this later. Oh shit. Tell me this thumbnail wasn't good. Like I really like this thumbnail. Is that as clickable? Maybe not. But it's inspired by one guy. I don't know his name though. Pretty epic sauce. Sauce the best. Sauce the best, the best. Ooh. Oh, ah. I easily did like maybe 40 push-ups today. Damn, bro. Okay, buddy. Okay, buddy. Sorry. Uh, uh, just to hydrate, of course. Man, should I turn my camera today? I want to turn on so bad. You guys have no idea. Especially because it sucks. It's horrible. But anyways. During the break, I'll finish the crochet thing. We have like 1 or 2 rows left. I don't actually know. Is it like, how do you count? Like, I don't know how to count these. That's the problem. I'm just doing it kind of based off of like vibes based, vibe crocheting, as opposed to vibe coding. Okay, is there anything behind this? I hope the audio is not too bad today. Let's close some unnecessary stuff. Kindly ask. Uncomfortable app message. Yeah, I felt it, bro. I felt it. Oh, yeah. Sorry, buddy. Oh, okay. I don't really know how to increase engagement or reach on 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 streams. Like, what do you do if you want more people to watch your streams? Like, I suppose you need more catchier thumbnails, but it's like, it's not like I get like recommended live videos from random people to me that often. So I don't know. Okay, but this thumbnail is depressing. Can we please get something else? Someone liked my. Okay, was that a bit? I might have been a bit. Other than just stops by our stream sometimes. It's so funny. It's so weird. I don't know. Someone disliked that other video. That was interesting, huh? Out of 17 likes, or out of 17 votes, 16 upvotes, 1 downvote, and it's like that is just kind of interesting now. There's a YouTube video editor here built in. Can I actually edit the video? Oh, cool. Okay, maybe I'll do that next time. 3 hours of watch time. 2 hours more than usual. 206 views, 199 more than usual. Bruh, that's funny as well. That's funny as shit, bro. That's one guy. If you need a stranger to talk to, just hit me up. Like, bro, okay, that was not the point of the video. Like, why was everyone talking about like if you need someone to talk to, it's not about not finding anybody to talk to. I can talk to like randos on Discord, or I could have gone to school and I could have talked to people. You know, I could have stayed in Dubai or made a very if I made it a big deal to go back to Dubai, I probably would have been back in Dubai. But I didn't want to go back to Dubai for a reason, because I didn't want to interact with a lot of people there. Now, obviously, and I hate it because the moment I realize that I'm just trapping myself in the conclusion, like I'm trapping myself by assuming that I don't like, I'll have a really tough time going back to school because of those people. The moment I relinquished myself of that conclusion, then I immediately started like, okay, let's go, let's go, let's go. For like, oh, I'm ready now. Like, oh, I feel like I should go. It's like I felt that, and it's like that is like the devil. Like that is not what you should be doing. Like if you should be like you don't. It's like I either have a totally negative attitude to things or I have a totally positive attitude to things. Totally extreme, way too much, right? So I'm supposed to control it, but at least I'm able to figure out when it's extreme now. Yeah. So illusion of what are these views, bro? 8 views, 204 views, 7 views, and 20 views. 204. Why? I've made better videos. Like the Trapitaro OST video is pretty good. Well, that's not really a video. True, true, true. Okay, descending from views. My most viewed video, for some reason, it's not including my latest video. For some reason, 109 views, 100 views on that art video. Binebraft got 73 views. No likes, dislikes. I still have the my Rocket League montage of like, that's so funny. Oh, yeah, thank God I understood that video, man. That shit was awful. I hated that video. I don't even know what I was talking about. This is a lot easier. New cars to try out go one like, one dislike. Don't click part one got one dislike only. Oh, so funny, Brad. The best moment in RL history. Oh, dumbass. Ba-bum, ba-ba-ba-da-bum. Second floor. Oh my god. Why would you do that? Why would I do that? Why would I do that? God damn, bro. Memories. 2021. This is 5 years ago, man. Why are we nostalgia diving? This is not the time to be nostalgia diving. Okay, my apologies. My apologies. Let's go. So does this work? Uh, whoa, those are some cool textures. What the what? Whoa, look at that. Can't get something like that easily. Can I do that more? Oh, that's sick. Oh, hell yeah. Whoa. Whoa. Oh, bro, what the fuck, bro? Oh god, this is good pieces of art. I'm sorry, we got distracted. My apologies, my apologies. God damn it. I am a mouse, I am a mouse, I am a mouse. I am one little mouse, one little mouse. My moose, my moose. I need my moose. My moose, a moose, moose, Musa and Esau. East and west. Dog. Okay. Tag me when you reply, please. I don't check your often. I found all the Insta posts and the entire Sloppy were just there for me to see. This is mad. I hate when people say they put me off so much appreciate you by the way. All the videos for headway. What if I don't show the headway? You ganglion boy. Ganglion. What the hell is a ganglion again? It's the thing in the brain. Shit. God. It's in the neurons. Eh? What? Ganglions are cysts? The shit? Oh. Isn't ganglions in neurons? Yeah, it's the freaking sympathetic ganglion. Yeah. God. Oh my god. Oh my glob. Oh my glob. Alright, alright, alright. Study. I study. Watch this. See this? See this drawing? That's the brain. Brain should stay, but it's gone. Maybe that's foreshadowing. Okay. Yep. There's the eyes down here. Flip it around. Flip it around. Flip it. Oh, I can adjust the chin. We're gonna move it this way. Neck. Stick that neck. Just move it up here. Uh, yep. Move the nose. There we have it. Like this. Okay, now just now it looks like breasts. God damn it. Okay. Alright, so understand the risks and benefits associated with the use of genetically modified organisms. So we learned about all the benefits last lesson. We looked at all the drugs that could be made. The hormone, growth hormones, insulin. Did we learn about anything else? We also learned about other things. It was like just at the end they listed down like some multiple things that were made using it. Yeah, there was something for breast cancer as well. Um, no, no. That wasn't even in this lesson. This is this lesson. Yeah, here we go. This. So these are some examples of things being made from transgenic animals, aka GMOs. This was interesting. I don't know how they're gonna ask questions about this. Um, we have not that many hours. I don't actually know when the exam is gonna be held. I should probably check. Let's just check real quick. I know. I check Republic. Czech Republic. Quick. Czech Republic. Check real quick. Czech quick. Republic. Yeah. Sorry about that. Let me control myself. Control the sillies. Teams open. Oh. Ugh. The phone is on charge. Let's do 3 push-ups while I'm waiting. Holy. Oh. Okay. Maybe I'm thinking about this wrong. Maybe if I do 5 push-ups, nothing actually happens. It's like I need to push myself until failure. That's when something will happen. I can't just do it like willy-nilly. You know what I'm saying? Let me just do it. Like, should I do it to failure? I'm not really in the mood to like not do good. 8 a.m. Okay, that's not good. I just, what do you mean it's at 8 a.m., bro? That is so bad. Okay. Any other funny surprises? No. When is the chemistry test? Oh my god, please be after 12. Or I'll be huge. Oh no. Okay, it's at 11. Hmm. I never did respond to Miss Mary about that. Man, well, I am a piece of shit, so it's like, should have expected it. I'll maybe send her an email when I'm like 40 and like, Miss Mary, Miss Mary, you don't know Miss Mary. Lamayo, Miss Mary, Lamayo. Okay, God, I sound like an idiot. Pharmaceutical and food industry now use machinery. They don't have it. This is what they were trying to do. Did they were able to do with like plants or something? I forgot. Lost some stuff. Okay. Oh my god. Test is tomorrow at 10 a.m. Okay, we gotta please quick. Scientists also hope that the modification of plants will help us overcome some of the challenges of climate change. Of course it does, you know, climate change makes it possible to grow enough food with the right nutritional value for every growing population. Yeah, it seems like that's the way to go. In this section, you will look at some of the more examples in which ways we were using genetically modified organisms and consider some of the risks and benefits of this technology. Genetic modification of crops. Plants, particularly cereal crops, are the main staple diet of most human beings. Is it? Okay. Hmm. Hmm. I guess, right? Because like bread is made out of wheat and like cereal and stuff. So okay. Mm, cereal crop. Oil also comes from plants, I believe. No, wait. Like okay, wait. Olive oil olive is literally a plant. Olive comes from where? Yeah, produced by pressing the fruit of the olive tree. Holy master study. Okay. Well, no, still life study. So cereal crops is a large like category containing millet, corn, wheat, buckwheat, sorghum, quinoa, barley, rice, oat, proso, and rye. Even rice, bro. I forgot rice what comes from plant. Like, god damn, bro. Plants are like OP, you know? Rice crop. Plants literally just give us everything. How do we get protein from plants? Protein from plant. Right? Because like you have like beans and like peas and stuff, right? Lentils. So what about like the dal crop? God, even dal, bro. Let's do a specific dal, like moong dal. Again, little like freaking capsules. It's perfect. How to grow your own moong dal plant? You just got torched this summer in Arizona, but I have two basil bushes that thrived the entire season. I just had to prune them every couple of weeks. Radishes are baby salad mix, both ready to harvest in about a month. I thought radishes were supposed to be easy. Well, the greens are edible too. I learned this the same way. Lol. Cooked down, I mean fresh in salads, not so much for the mature plants. It's fine if you don't mind feeling your salad is trying to sandpaper your throat. Saute the greens. Delicious as is or mixed with the pasta. Also happens to me, I think the issue is heat. I'm waiting until it's cooler in the season. I made a really good pesto with the leaves of my radish soup and I used to use them. That's the issue when I didn't thin the seeds well enough. Few things at play. This is my first year and has very much been a steep learning curve. All notes for next year. You can try again. It's like 30-45 days to maturity. I second this. I second this looks like a thinning issue. The plants are too close to each other. Try to keep the seeds a few inches apart from each other. Sometimes I've even tried sometimes it's been pulled too close. Pulled out the two close ones and managed to replant farther away. Are these the ones in the ground or in a container? During a container, I'll give them another go. Make sure the container's deep enough as well. Right, wait until they're a bit bigger to bulk. Do those in I'll wait until the potatoes all sprout an inch or two, then use a Dutch hoe to disturb them. Yes, no need to pull. Yes, no need to pull these. Hold them. Update for anyone who searches as I did this morning. We arrived in Thankfully Garden very early. Okay, where did I end up? Growing plants at home. I ended up from cereal crops to wanting to grow them at home to looking at Reddit and seeing if you can try growing them at home. Okay, not bad, not bad. That was a bit awkward when I see that. I need to wear my freaking retainers, dude. Spending too much time without them. Now we turn on our cameras. So, since plants are the most common or the main staple diet for most human beings, the problem is that these plants are easily harmed by disease, pests, growing conditions, natural disasters such as floods and drought. So this is important because you're seeing directly what are the main problems with growing plants, or what are the things that affects the or disturbs the growth of plants. That is going to be disease, pests, poor growing conditions, and natural disasters such as floods and drought. Just an example I mean, not even an example, like we saw, like it was almost like a case study. Where I was looking at a Reddit post, and it said that someone got torched, right? So someone lit down their farm, and that they were growing crops in. And so what? And so that I mean, that means that is essentially like a natural disaster, right? Um, Not really, but like you get what I mean. And so there are some plants which died, some plants which lived, but the point is that this is the main problem with growing these because they can be so easily harmed by these external conditions. Okay. Now, traditional plant breeding has resulted in many improvements, but it is a slow process. This is another problem. So most of the time, we're having issues like uh, that it's easily disturbed, or it doesn't work, or it takes too long. And in both cases, that's going to be quite important. Like that's going to be hindering the amount of food that we're going to be able to provide for people. And so genetic modification can introduce many useful characteristics much faster. Many of the first commercially produced GM crops were modified to make life better for the producers and sellers of the food. For example, by giving longer shelf life, so this obviously longer shelf life doesn't really matter much to the consumer, um, because consumers will eat the food immediately that they buy. Why would they buy something and then hold on to it for a longer period of time? Now, sure, some people do that with food, like especially canned food and stuff. But that is a niche of food. But it is a lot more useful for the producers and sellers because for producers and sellers, a food can die out or become rotten very quickly, and so they have to sell it within this small period of time. Increasing the shelf life means that you can keep it for a much longer period of time until it rots. And so you have a lot longer of a period of time for you to sell that plant or sell that food. For example, by giving it longer shelter life. So let's write this down, note this down. That longer shelf life is something that you can have with GM crops, um, or herbicide resistance. So herbicide is for removing. Yeah, what is the difference between herbicide and pesticide? Uh, Herbicide and pesticide. Pesticides are chemicals designed to kill, repel, or control pests, while herbicides are a specific subcategory of pesticides designed to kill or control weeds and unwanted plants. Okay, uh, are weeds bad because they compete with the crops that you're trying to grow for nutrients, water, etc.? Yes, weeds are considered bad in agriculture and gardening contexts, primarily because they are aggressive competitors for the essential resources your crops need to thrive. They are often faster growing and harder than the crops themselves. Harder as in more hardy. They survive in tougher conditions. Is that here? Hard. Near close, compactly, so as to raise difficulties with difficulty. Comparative form of hard, more hard. Um, Solid and firm, containing alcohol, hard cider, hard lemonade. Having very acidic or tannic, high in dissolved chemical salts, having a high energy, high frequency, short wavelength, hard X-rays, having a severe property presenting difficulty. Ah, there you go. Difficult to resist or control. Hardy. Having rugged physical strength, able to, yeah, there you go. Biology plants. Able to survive um, adverse growing conditions, especially frost. A hardy plant is one that can withstand the extremes of climate, such as frost. The oat is hardier than wheat and ripens in higher latitudes. Indeed. So yeah, herbicides are basically what you expected for like weeds and stuff, getting rid of those. So it can survive those. I'm guessing it's not only herbicide but also pesticide resistance, but maybe it's not, you know? The second big wave of GM, okay, so the first wave was for longer shelf life and herbicide resistance. The second wave was delivered improvements for the consumer. Um, Obviously, herbicide resistance is also helpful for the consumer, not just the producer, because that means you're eating plants or eating crops which aren't affected by herbicides. But I mean, the producers wouldn't be able to sell them if they weren't, right? So herbicide resistance was very important. Now for the consumer, we can improve the nutritional content of food and making the food more resistant to adverse conditions, such as the following. So, um, flood resistant rice, pesticide resistance, changing to, okay, so now pesticide resistance. So you could argue that the first point, the herbicide resistance was also better. But I guess you could consider here that even when you have food which was harvested, that can still be rotten by pests. So pesticide resistance is important. Herbicides are also a subcategory of pesticides. So yeah, this is all just uh, you know what's it called? This is all just semantics, right? um, at this point. So let's just highlight down the other things. So nutritional content of food was improved, and they're more resistant to adverse conditions such as flood-resistant rice, pesticide resistance, and changing the nutrient values of rice. So we already discussed that. So it is basically just two things or three things, whatever. These are just examples which include the following. So yeah, both of these are talking about the adverse conditions, I suppose. Um, so what we can see here is the complete immersion in the water destroys rice crops, but global warming is causing more severe flooding. So scientists have developed strains of GM rice that can resist being totally covered in water for up to 3 weeks and still produce around 80% of the normal quantities of rice. These went from lab to field in 2 years and are already preventing people from dying of lack of food in some areas. Flood resistant rice. Is it the ones that we see all over Bangladesh? Yup, yup, yup. It literally is. Wow. Okay. Dude, what the hell, man? That's so freaking awesome. New genes control plant height could lead to flood-proof crops. Flood-tolerant rice benefits farmers in India. Monitoring flood-resistant rice for climate-smart agriculture. Bangladesh's Haur, what is Haur? Haur is marshy wetland ecosystem in the northeastern part of Bangladesh. Physically a bowl or saucer-shaped depression that looks like inland seas during the monsoon floods. Okay. How farmers test climate resilient rice varieties. This is so cool. Kishoreganj or Sunamganj, Bangladesh, 2024-25 November 2025. So recent! Farmers in Bangladesh's flood-prone Howrah wetlands region are testing new rice varieties designed to withstand floods, short planting short planting windows, and unpredictable weather. The International Rice Research Institute (IRRI), in partnership with Friends in Village Development Bangladesh (FIVDB), organized field days using a crop cafeteria approach, where farmers could see multiple varieties grown side by side and compare their research under the same conditions. Around 500 participants, including farmers, seed dealers, millers, and government officials, attended the event. The new varieties included BRRI Dhan 49, BRRI Dhan 87, Dhan 93, Dhan 94, Dhan 103, and the newly introduced Dhan 111. Among these, Dhan 94 and Dhan 103 were ranked highest by both farmers and stakeholders for yield, resilience, and overall performance. Dhan 111 tested in the Howrah region for the first time survived up to 7 days of flooding and showed strong growth. The welcomed the variety, highlighting its potential to improve the resilience in flood-prone areas. This variety was developed by the Bangladesh BRRI, the Bangladesh's Research Rice Institute, to address water inundation challenges. Inundation? The act of inundating an overflow of flood. Okay, to address water flood challenges common in the wetland areas. Kohinoor Begum, a farmer from Sunamganj, Sadar, said, "These short-duration, high-yielding rice varieties are a game-changer for us. With unpredictable weather, we need crops that can survive floods and cold spells." Supporting her message, local seed dealer Hafizur Rahman said, "Good seed is the foundation of a good harvest. Having certified seeds available locally will lower costs and improve yields." The crop cafeteria approach also allowed hands-on learning, with sessions on seed production, mechanization, post-harvest practices, and interactive discussions with researchers and extension agents. Rehana Noor, IRI project manager of the Climate Smart Rice Value Chain project, said, participatory approaches like these are essential to ensure research translates into particular solutions farmer can adopt at scale. Supported by HSBC, the banking thing, a British multinational universal bank and financial services company. The initiative aims to improve productivity, profitability, and climate resilience for smallholder rice farms. Smallholder means a person who owns or runs a small holding, a small farm, or a minor independent farmer. A small slaveholder, a person who owns a small holding, a small plantation with slavery. Financed by HSBC. Wow. Freaking awesome, no? I'm gonna send this to the guys. Assalamualaikum. He was a Eve ganglion boy, and she was lean girl. I love lean. P, 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 P. That's RTC ka. Oh, you're playing the gross looking game. Okay. Lock in. What just happened? Did everyone just fall asleep the moment I joined? Oh, okay. My fault. Keep going at it, gentlemen. Yeah, you guys are doing great. Okay. I went from four A stars to AABC. What's your what's the situation? Triple B. Triple B. Yeah. Yeah, buddy. Sit down. Probably not your triple B, probably like triple C or something. And I'm getting triple A stars. Okay, let's keep going. Wow, that was a good read. Oh, yeah. Okay, there'll be 20%, 20%. So this is very real, like for me. Like this is a very like like not relatable, but like very. It affects my country or benefits my country a lot. Granted, we are growing the plants here. We are growing the right. Are we growing the cotton? Are we growing like the does Bangladesh grow the crops for cotton and like fabrics? Yes, Bangladesh grows cotton, primarily producing upland American cotton, 90% of domestic production, and tree cotton. It only meets to 1 to 3% of its massive annual textile demand. While cultivation exists in hilly and northwestern regions, Bangladesh is one of the largest importers of cotton, relying on imports for 90% plus of its textile industry needs. Oh, then why does so many clothes come from Bangladesh? Cheap labor? What's textiles again? I forgot. Textiles is textile. Textile means any material made of interlacing or matted fibers, including carpeting and geotextiles, woven or non-woven. I'm non-nudist. Okay. Clothing compulsive? Wow. While cheap labor is a primary driver, it is not the only reason Bangladesh dominates the global clothing market. The country has spent decades building a massive specialized ecosystem that makes it difficult for other nations to compete, even those that grow their own cotton. Here is why so many clothes come from Bangladesh: extremely competitive labor costs. Oh god, this is so sad. Okay. Bangladesh has some of the lowest wages globally for garment workers. Entry-level monthly wages are roughly $105 to $113. This is significantly lower in China, India, or Vietnam. Large workforce. The industry employs over 4.4 million people, roughly 80% of whom are women from rural areas, providing a nearly unlimited supply of labor. Okay. Yep. Because of its least developed country status, Bangladesh enjoys preferential trade terms that other major producers do not. EU access under the Everything But Arms (EBA) initiative, Bangladesh can export clothes to European Union duty-free and quota-free. This can save international brands up to 12% in tariffs compared to sourcing from China or India, making the final product much cheaper for the consumer. Vertical integration and scale. Despite importing raw cotton, Bangladesh has built a massive internal supply chain. Bangladesh now produces nearly 85 to 90% of the yarn and fabric needed for its knitwear like t-shirts and sweaters locally. With over 4,000 factories, the country can handle massive orders from global giants like H&M, Zara, and Walmart that smaller nations simply cannot fulfill. The industry is highly optimized for high volume basic to mid-range apparel. Factories often run 24/7 and are expert at cut, make, trim operations, taking imported fabric and turning it into finished clothing very quickly to meet the demands of fast fashion cycles. That's so sad. That is so depressing. That is so depressing. Okay. An approach to clothing retail by which designs are quickly adopted from the catwalk so as to capture current fashion trends. Hi Allah. Okay. Globally, 20% or more of all crops are grown or lost to pests. If we could reduce this, there would be a lot more food for everybody. Simply put, genetic modifications of crop plants can produce the plants that make their own pesticides within their leaves. Oh, wow. Okay, so that's how pesticide resistance works. It's not that you make them just like biologically immune to whatever the pesticides do or the pests do, but you make the plants produce the pesticide from their leaves. Therefore, they don't get affected by their own thing. Or maybe they do, I don't know. This means that farmers do not need to use chemical pesticides which are expensive and can harm the environment. Okay. However, there are some concerns that pesticide genes will spread into wild plants and insects and fungi will become resistant to the plant chemicals. Um, and insects and fungi will become resistant to. Okay, so generally it's kind of like antibiotic resistance that bacteria do, right? Where it's like it's gonna just be resistant to the antimicrobial properties that those things would have, like the medicines and stuff would have. I mean, couldn't the plant then like evolve and adapt? But I guess that takes a lot longer. Changing the nutrient values of plants. By genetically modifying crop plants, scientists have the potential to change the balance of different chemicals in the crops. Okay, if we increase the vitamin or protein content of the food, vitamin A in golden rice, or change the balance of fats, we can greatly increase the nutritional value of the food for the people who eat it. It may even be possible to grow plants that contain vaccines against the deadly diseases, right? So nutritional value, right? You're increasing the nutritional value, or you're changing the chemical content of the food without while keeping the food digestible, right? So, and also cheap, right? Because you're going to be, it's not like you just vaccinate a banana with a vaccine. No, you make it so that the seed grows and produces that those genes, I mean, produces those proteins, those chemicals which code for, the healthy vaccines and more protein, more vitamins from within. And so all of those rice grains will have more vitamin A. All of those bananas will be having those vaccines in them, right? So that's what makes it very, 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 very useful. Um, okay, because it is expensive to give the vaccines on its own, and it's also expensive to use pesticides. So we want these plants to grow the pesticides from within, to grow the vaccines from within. Seems like a dream to be able to do this, right? Plants which grow with pesticides within them. Genetic modification of soybeans. So this is an example of where we've used this. So soybeans, also known as soybeans in the US, are a major food crop globally. They're grown as a source of food rich in protein for people and a source of oils. Okay, so this is funny because I was searching for this. And a source of oils for and also for this. Wow, right? God, what a coincidence. Okay, for commercial use in the food industry. They're used in animal feed, such as they're also used in animal feed as a biofuel and have many uses in the cosmetics industry. So they're also used in animal feed as a biofuel and also in the cosmetics industry. It is estimated that 90 to 95% of all soybeans grown in the United States, which is a major producer of them, are not genetically modified. Scientists have used techniques such as A-tune fashions and gene guns to add new. Is A-tune fashions the one that we studied? What was that example that they used with A-tune fashions? I forgot. This one. So they take the cuttings from this and then they put it into the next one. So the bacteria causes the tumor, and the cells in the tumor have the new genes. So if we just take the cells from the tumor and then culture them, and then we can clone new plants from them, like kind of like grafting, right? So yeah, okay. The main genetic modification of soybeans include the following. Amo. In bio, we're studying about um, like how people have genetically modified rice and stuff, so that it's like lasts longer, it can survive floods and natural disasters and all these things. So I mean, Dixam J, like, and because this uses a lot of like, it requires a lot of research and stuff that I would probably do. Like, this is maybe something that I would do in the future if I studied biochemistry. And so like, because it's literally about like resistance. So this uses like the genetic material or the genetic properties of the plant, what it can survive, what it can't survive, because it doesn't have those machinery within the plant to survive. And so we'll genetically modify them so that they can survive the floods and all these other external factors. So now I was just googling it, and just like a few months ago, there was this huge convention in Bangladesh, okay, in Kishorganj and Arka, Sarganj or something. Hmm? Sirajganj, Haji. And then in those, they were basically showing, it was like this kind of, they were showing farmers in that region the varieties of genetically modified crops, like rice crops, right? And so there are many, 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 and there were samples. So this was one genetically modified one. This is another. This is another. And so then they were able to go and touch them and pull them out, look at the roots and all of these things, the farmers. And then after that, there were like over 500, and there were 500 farmers. Some of them were like government officials, Onik Jan Manush, and after that they like decided which one was the best one. To see the progress, kunta beshi bhalo, kunta beshi kharab, which one is doing the best in these harsh conditions, basically. And yeah. I think Allah put us on the earth to develop it, and with the problems going on like global warming, these things are going to keep on happening. All these disasters are, yes, they're human made. So, but they're real and they're affecting us. They should focus to prevent. There are people who are focusing on that, but Ammu, there are people who are who need. There are millions of people in Bangladesh who need food. So, এখানে কিছু বলা দেয়নি এখন। মানুষ কি এতদিন পর্যন্ত বলেনি যে পেস্টিসাইডস এসে ইনসেক্টিসাইডস এগুলো দেওয়ার পরে কত মানুষ মৃত্যুবরণ হয়েছে, আগে কত ফসল নষ্ট হয়ে যেত, এখন ফসল নষ্ট হয় না এক জমিতে। এখন তো প্রাউডলি বলছে যে এক ল্যান্ডে আগে বছরে একটা ক্রপ হতো, এখন সেই চারটা ক্রপ হয় সেম ল্যান্ডে। এটা যে ল্যান্ডের জন্য কত ক্ষতিকর, ওভারওয়ার্ক করানো ওই প্ল্যান্টটাকে, এইগুলো নিয়ে তো আগে কখনো কথা হয়নি। Why people are coming back again on organic? Same জিনিস এইটাতে। But like that's the thing though, like when we sacrifice for যে মানুষদের well-being এর জন্য মানুষ খেতে পারে না, or এইগুলা সব জিনিস হচ্ছে কি বলবো, কত ফুড এই মুহূর্তে, কত ফুড তারা ওয়েস্ট করে ফেলে দেয় যে কান্ট্রিতে এগুলো রিসার্চ করে বের করে, এদেরই কান্ট্রিতে কত ফুড তারা ওয়েস্ট করে, অথচ সেই জিনিসটা যদি পোর কান্ট্রিগুলোতে দেয় তো অনেক সলভ হয়ে যায়। কত আননেসেসারি জিনিসে তারা বিলিয়ন বিলিয়ন ডলার তারা ইউজ করে, যেটা যদি এই ধরনের প্রবলেম সলভ করার জন্য ইউজ করতো তো অর্গানিক্যালি সবকিছু ন্যাচারালি ওয়েতে all these things aside, like there were these guys are these doctors, these people are spending so much time and research into making genetically modified crops. They aren't going to be able to just make these things without knowing the harmful side effects of it. Like actual active medicine বানানোর জন্য over 10 years লাগে to see what kind of harmful side effects it has, if it can be কি conditions এ খাওয়া যায়, অনেক 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 টেস্টিং করে, from computer testing to animal testing to human testing, তারপর ওই human testing কতক্ষণ লাগে, এই সব জিনিস এই genetically modified crops এও সাথে করে। Because this is because in the context this is in Bangladesh, this relates to me. কিছুতেই আছে এবং এটা হার্ম নিয়ে তো এখন প্রচুর। আসসালামু আলাইকুম। তুমি বাসায় যাচ্ছ 7টার সময়, 7টা বাজে কেন? বিশেষ কম হচ্ছে। কি বল? বায়োলজি কেন? এখানে আসো জিজ্ঞেস করছে কি করতে, কেন কেন আবার কি কথা? আব্বু জানতে চাচ্ছে পরীক্ষা কিসের, আব্বু জানে মা হয়ে গেছে শেষ। আরো এভিডেন্স নেওয়ার জন্য ওরা পরীক্ষা আরো করতে চায়। আরো লাইক they have to send more evidence to Pearson to like understand my grades, so they're going to take more tests.
এত নাটক কিসের জন্য বলো যে আমি একেবারে ফাইনাল এক্সাম দেব পিয়ারসনকে বলো বোর্ড এক্সাম কন্ডাক্ট করতে
Okay. Yeah.
but how many days you need to be
কালকে একটা 11th আর একটা 12th আর একটা
তুমি কি এটা জানতে আগে থেকে
yeah
ওকে সো প্রিপারেশন তো চলছে তাই না
yeah
আমি তো চিন্তা করছি যে তুমি অলরেডি ভ্যাকেশন মোডে আছো রাজশাহী যেতে চাইলা ঘুরতে আমি ভাবছি তোমার শেষ তো
আমি রাজশাহীতে যাইনি কারণ করতে হচ্ছিল yes that was literally it.
প্ল্যান তোমার আম্মু বললো আমাকে যে সবাই যাচ্ছে রাজশাহীতে আমরা
হ্যাঁ ওটা 4 তারিখে যে 7 তারিখে চলে আসবো এরকম প্ল্যান করেছিলাম
3 দিন পড়াশোনার ক্ষতি হতো না আজব ব্যাপার তো
anyways so yeah
এই যে আমাকে এই জিনিসটা ঢুকায় বলেনি আর
ভাই আমি বলছি না যাওয়ার জন্য because I want to study we didn't end up going anyway হইছে
we're almost traveling বা আম্মুর পিছে দেখা না হলে তোমরা তো ট্রাভেল করতাম
I don't yeah I mean at the time it was okay because there was a long period of time before because then it didn't happen and then we were planning to go again and then and then I said no because I needed more time to study anyways তুমি আমাকে কি বলতে চাইছিলা
তুমি স্টাডি করো
just বলো না
না না না ভালো মতো স্টাডি করো পরীক্ষা শেষ করো তারপরে উঠে
okay no.
আম্মুকে বলতাম যে তুমি আমাকে আইডি কিনে যাবে মা
হ্যাঁ তুমি টিকটিকে পাঠাইছো রাতে না তো না তো তুমি এসে আমাকে নিয়ে যাও তাহলে একটু পাওয়া লাগবে তুমি তো রাস্তা পাইছো
Probably not, I guess. Stop a tree from losing. There's no not stepping to sideways. Well, people are attracted to reason not experience sensitivity to modify. It's because I don't believe in check my life, but I'm trying to continue to live in time. There's no offense. Enjoying my life is for a very long time. Just I'm, I'm, I really do think whatever you think is wrong. There's literally like, I mean, কিছুই পাচ্ছি না. Whether it be in people, whether it be from like research organization, World Health Organization, all these things. আমি কিছুই পাচ্ছি না যে
তুমি পড়াশোনা করতে চেষ্টা করো শেষ করো
আমি কিছুই পাচ্ছি না যে and it's on the other hand it's beneficial. It's not even harmful. It's not just it's okay. কিছু there's no benefits. There's no harm. It's beneficial. It's helped people like infinitely. It's like the nuclear energy, the nuclear power plant. That's not. People say it's bad. Yeah, and many of the foods that we eat are already GMOs, you know. So when was the freaking thing? The GMO the sheep that milk contained proteins, human proteins. What was it? Tracy the sheep. Um, it was was it insulin? No, it was not insulin. Where when was Tracy then? Was Tracy up here? No. Where was Troy's egg person? Troy's the transgenic animals I want to talk about. 1991. Oh, this is the first transgenic animal. Okay, not transgenic plant. When was the first transgenic plant? What? When was the first transgenic plant made? 1982, 1983. Antibiotic-resistant tobacco plants. These pioneering genetically modified plants were developed using agrobacterium tuned fashions to introduce the foreign DNA, with studies reported in 1982 and a further successful generation of transgenic tissues in 1983. Well, technically, okay, is 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 selective breeding considered genetic modification? Yeah. Yes, selective breeding is considered a traditional form of genetic modification because it alters an organism's DNA but is not considered genetic engineering. While selective breeding works through natural reproduction over generations to increase existing traits, genetic engineering uses lab technology to directly manipulate genes, often introducing new traits. Man, that's crazy. Suppose the first one is wow, noises up and noise. What is this website? The Write-a-thon? Oh, I don't love this. Maybe. Yuri, progression fantasy. Ew, sounds gross. What's progression fantasy? Um, Released it minutes ago. Urban fantasy progression psychological. Hi Allah. Quote ULI. Making fun of like fanfics is like making fun of beginner artists. And I mean, sure, I can see people who make fun of them or doesn't like them. Then I can admit that I could have heard that better promise to employment and go. I may go. একসাথে হয়ে গেলে একসাথে চলো তোমরা ভাই বোনরা সব একসাথে তোমার আম্মাকে নিয়ে দাদুকে নিয়ে একসাথে বসে
আসলে অসুবিধা হয়, বুঝতে পারছো? খেয়াল থাকবে। হ্যাঁ, গরুর মাংস তুলে তুলে এতগুলো করেছিলাম, সেটা রান্না করলাম। হ্যাঁ, আমি যখন সেটা মাংস আনে তখন একটু বেশি করি।
Tracy Lacey.
আর ডাল
Tracy slash
আর
hands.
ওই যে মাছের তরকারি,
Control.
ঠিক আছে?
জি ঠিক আছে।
হয়ে গেলে টেবিলে সব করবে,
জি।
মা ডাকার সাথে সাথে যাবা।
আলহামদুলিল্লাহ।
দয়া করে ভাত কিন্তু খাওনি দুপুরে,
হুম।
এই জন্য আমার রাগ উঠে যায়। সময় মতো না খেলে আমার খুব রাগ উঠে যায়, আমার খুব বিরক্ত লাগে। এই নাভি এগুলা করতে আমার রাগ উঠে যেত। তুইও শুরু করেছিস, তোদেরকে কে রাখবে রে? দাদা দাদি নানা নানির কাছে তো রাখ, আমরা তোদের মতন এত স্মার্ট নাতি নাতনিকে আমরা এই রাখতে পারি বুড়ারা? কোথায় তো শুনিস না। মাকে চানাচুর ভাজা করে খা, চানাচুর ভাজা খাস না কর্মর কর্মর করে, মাকে খা। হ্যাঁ, আপনি বললেন চানাচুর ভাজা, হ্যাঁ খা। মাছ ভাজা করে খা। কেমন মারবো না, এক গেলে থেকে আরেক গেলে এক গেলে মার না দিয়ে দিয়ে এরকম
কেন মারবা? মারা ঠিক না।
মানো কেন, না খেয়ে খেয়ে এই শরীর কি হচ্ছে, এগুলো কি হচ্ছে? ওই যে আরেকজনে হচ্ছে করে আছে চেহারা, এত সুন্দর চেহারাটা হয়ে গেছে। ওই যে বুড়ি মরে গেছে আমার বিয়ান, আসছে বলতে, আর বলবো না, শেষ বলা, আমিও শেষ। চিল্লাছে এখন খারাপ আমার তো না, তুমি চিল্লা বন্ধ হয়ে যায়, ভালো হয়ে যেতে থাকবে যা। আল্লাহ তোমাদের সপ্তাহ বানিয়ে খেয়ে নি পেটে
সেই ছিল ওটা। Okay. Wherever you found that thingy that you're saying, please.
wherever না বাবা,
Okay, just send me.
ওরা genetically crops আর foods আর ইয়ে করছে, animals, human being,
Yeah, animals.
এটা করছে মেল থেকে ফিমেল বানাচ্ছে, ফিমেল থেকে মেল বানাচ্ছে, মানে কি বলবো, সিনথেটিক ইয়ে বানাচ্ছে, তারপরে হচ্ছে যে বাচ্চাদেরকে ইয়ে করতেছে, কি না কি করছে আল্লাহ।
Why focusing on the bad things, man? People are going to do bad things with whatever. Focus on the good things that people are able to do. Let me tell you one of the good things. Let me tell you one of the good things. Vaccines are so expensive, right? Vaccines are so expensive for countries which are poor. So what they're able to do is they're able to grow bananas which naturally grow the vaccine inside them. And so when the bananas are, oh my god, এখন তুমি ভ্যাকসিনের কথা শুরু করবা। Okay, থামো হইছে। Allahu Akbar. I think you're brainwashed, I think. Or because
আমারই ব্রেন ওয়াশ।
হ্যাঁ, because তুমি বায়ো পড়ো না, তুমি শুধু কথা শোনো মানুষদের কাছ থেকে। Countries have been saved because of vaccines. Countries. Masses of people. The whole world, probably. Ebola, therefore, those other diseases which are cured only because of vaccines. How? How can you even say this? The vaccines cannot they to cure people. And after they give vaccines in a whole region, the disease, the amount of people dying decreases. How can you How? How can you argue against that this is a bad thing? Let me finish what I was originally saying. Those vaccines, they're grown within the bananas, so and the bananas are a lot cheaper than the vaccine. So now the children and all these families, they can eat these bananas, they can have the vaccines inside their bodies, and so they become immune, they become resistant to the disease. And then they just like people died less, not more. So yeah, hashtag death. No, jokes, 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 jokes. Is there more? No, there's only one. Start reading. Don't tell me it starts from prologue one. Oh my god, why is there so many prologues? Okay. Mal only has one favorite, one follow, one fiction, zero reviews. Gender other? Uh-oh. He made his account a few months ago, 5 months ago. Total words 6566. Oh, that's cool. Okay. So 6,566 words long so far. I don't think that's a lot though. Why are they censored? Oh, is that dramatic effect? Oh, that is dramatic effect. Whoa, cool. Oh, his name is Patrick Elias? Oh, oh. I thought his name was Thomas. I'm so confused. LMAO. Best rated. Mother of Learning. The Perfect Run. Super Minion. Sky Pride. Why do all of these thumbnails look so awful? Best rated all genres. The Unexpected Engagement of Marvelous Mr. Pen. Game at the Carousel, a horror movie lit RPG. Sublight Drive Star Wars. Ghost in the City Cyberpunk Gamer SI. 3,000 pages. What do you mean? What do you mean 4,000 pages? How? What? I wonder if Joseph Anderson has been on Royal Road. Joseph Anderson, Royal Road. Okay, it wasn't even mentioned here. Okay. Oh no. No, I don't wanna, I don't wanna. I want this so bad. Let's do it. Fuck! Oh, god damn it, it's so cute. Oh, god damn it. 14 goes there. 231 upvotes. Oh my god. UAE Birds is a subreddit? Oh! Of course it's a subreddit. Of course. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yep. Yeah, just some fried thing. Yeah. Can you please have this banana, please? It's been sitting here for so long. I feel bad. I don't want to take off my retainers again. And I don't want to eat anything now because I'm going to have dinner. Ouch. Okay, let's keep moving. Tim Fashions. I love Tim Fashions. And Gene Guns too. Add new genetic material to soybeans. The main genetic modification of soybeans to include the following. So, wait. Okay, so that was a chocolate that I couldn't finish because it tasted quite bad. Where can I throw this, by the way? Okay. Kunta jo ei basket hai? ভুলে যাব। I'll sleep at 10 o'clock. It's fine. I'll sleep in 10 o'clock, or I'll get off at. Never mind. I'll finish work at 10 o'clock. If you can, oh, God. Okay, fine. Never mind. It's okay. If you can, you can. No, I'm stupid. I'm stupid. 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. Nope, 10 o'clock. Language. It's either it's too small or it's just like it's I can't lift up my shoulders. Why? That is not true. Abu did this to me like last year or last year. You just said 4 years to 1 year. I don't know. It's too small or something. This Arjun Kadam. It's a good shirt. Um. So we are making certain things. Herbicide resistance, fatty acid balance. Okay. Genetic modification of soybeans. So this is one of the examples. Done to soybeans. It's a major crop and they're already grown in the United States, and since it's a major producer, um, herbicide resistance, fatty acid balance. So, okay, we're probably gonna be looking at why this was needed, and then what it was able to do, or perhaps maybe what they were doing before to tackle it, etc., etc. So this is badly affected by competition with weeds. So farmers spray herbicides to destroy the weeds. However, soya plants are also killed by many broadleaf plant herbicides. Scientists genetically modified soya plants to make them resistant to common weed killers. These GM soybeans are now used widely across areas of the world which grow soybeans, and production has significantly increased as a result. Oil from soybeans is widely used in production, but traditional soya oil contains relatively oleic. Oh wait, sorry. Oil from soybeans is widely used in production, but traditional oil from soybeans is widely used in food production. Traditional soy oil contains relatively little oleic and stearic acids and relatively large amounts of linoleic acid. Linoleic acid oxidizes easily, so soy oil tends to oxidize. So lots of linoleic, less oleic and stearic. Linoleic oxidizes easily, so soya oil tends to oxidize and is no longer good to eat. Also, linoleic acid is a polyunsaturated fatty acid, but oleic acid is a monounsaturated fatty acid. And studies have suggested that oleic acid is better for human health than linoleic. Scientists have produced GM soybeans that have radically different balance of fatty acid with a lot of oleic acid and a less linoleic acid. This has two benefits: the oil lasts longer and may be healthier. So, linoleic, oleic in GM and non-GM. So non-GM is this much and this much, then in GM is this much and this much. So you can see how much the linoleic acid can decrease from non-GM to GM. Oh, wait, this is linoleic. This is linolenic. Oh, what? Linoleic? Okay. Oleic and stearic. Oleic, linoleic, linolenic. Okay, I don't know why they mentioned why they brought this up, but anyways, other fatty acids. Okay, but this removes other fatty acids, so that might be one of the problems. Who knows? So okay, they weren't showing any problems. As in what? I mean, actually, no, they did. So yeah, let's highlight that. So soy oil tends to oxidize and no longer good to eat, and since it contains more linoleic, large amounts of linoleic, oleic acid is better for human health than linoleic. Study says. Studies say. Oh my god, it's a lot of reading. Okay. Human gene therapy. This is the thing that I'm with. It is It is a very It is a very exciting to think. Oh no, not a good start. It is very exciting to think that in the future we may be able to block the faulty genes that cause some devastating diseases in people. However, the research necessary to find an effective treatment is long and not always successful. For example, scientists hope that cystic fibrosis might be cured by inserting healthy versions of the CFTR gene into cells of the lungs, but progress so far has been slow. Most gene therapy is performed on normal body cells, somatic cells, and so it is known as somatic cell gene therapy. Even if that person's treatment is successful, they will still transfer their faulty alleles to their children. Okay, so this is not a generational cure. This is a cure from person to person. A potential solution to this problem is to alter the germ cells so that the faulty genes are no longer transferred. This could be done in the very early embryo immediately after in vitro fertilization. So this is like literally modifying the human babies while they're in the embryo stage. That's pretty crazy. The new individual would be free of the disease and the children would not risk inheriting the disease. Now, this may sound like a good idea, and some people argue that if the technology is available, it should be used to benefit as many people as possible. However, many other people are still very concerned about the possible risks, and some people are offended by the idea itself. It is still not certain what effect this action could have on an early embryo, and the impact on the individual might not come clear until much later. It seems very positive to aim to remove the risk of genetic disease, but it could be difficult to know at what point to stop. Some people could be prepared to pay a great deal of money for unethical treatment. For example, it raises serious questions about manipulating genes, not simply to remedy disease, but to enhance longevity, change skin color, or increase adult height or intelligence. At the moment, most germline research is banned in most countries. Wow. That's sick. That is crazy. Wow. See? So they are talking about the negatives as well. Okay? Okay. Even more risks that Bola say. There's been a great deal of public debate all around the world about GM technology. In some parts of the world, America and Australia, people have few problems with the use of GM plants and foods. In other areas, including UK and many parts of Europe, there's still uncertainty. This area of science is very complex, and many people do not understand it fully. Much of their knowledge comes from the media, and most journalists, even science correspondents, are not scientists. It is not easy to obtain the evidence, nor is it easy to understand. Science is full of uncertainties, but people like things to be clear and simple. As a result, many people, including some of the politicians who make laws about research, are arguing without all the evidence and often with an incomplete understanding of the science. Interestingly, the use of GM bacteria to produce human medicines such as insulin raises relatively little debate. So when it comes to when it comes to human medicines such as insulin, GM bacteria doesn't have that much debate. In this case, the benefits to people are very clear and seems to be very few risks involved with it. However, genetic modification of food plants, not bacteria, but food plants, animals, and humans divides opinions. Issues often raised about GM technology include the following. In the early days of genetic modification, antibiotic resistance was often used as a marker gene. Okay, right, because that's what we do in practicals. People were concerned about the risk that these genes for antibiotic resistance might get into wild plant populations and add to the problems of antibiotic resistance. Scientists listened to these concerns and now widely use different marker genes for fluorescence or a particular nutrient dependence or requirement instead of antibiotic resistance. Concern about infertile seeds. Scientists usually use gene markers in GM plants to make it easy to identify them. These marker genes may include alleles that ensure that the plant is infertile so that the plants cannot reproduce. This removes the risk of them spreading into the environment. However, it does also mean that the farmers must buy fresh supplies of transgenic plant seeds every year for planting. So you can't use the seeds made by the transgenic plants. You have to get another set of transgenic plants every single year. This is more of a concern in the case of food crops than for plants which are being modified to use as medicines. Right. Right. This is more important for food crops because plants which are used as medicines are not going to be reused, or I don't think they're reused. But some of the same issues arise. The big worry is that this will seriously disadvantage people in poorer countries for whom the benefits of modified crops are most needed. Okay, fine. Worries over the risk of eating alien DNA in GM food plants. People forget that we eat many different types of DNA every day and have the enzyme specifically to digest it. We may even eat the organism that donated the new gene anyway. For many people, the risk/benefit balance shifts dramatically when GM food contains vital medicines or important vitamins. In this case, too, there is growing evidence that GM food carries no risks and many benefits, so in time this may no longer be a cause of concern. See figure B. As millions of people eat GM crops every year without any adverse side effects, it is becoming clear that the benefits of GM crops, high yields and/or increased nutritional value, are greater than the risks. Environmental concerns about the risk of gene transfer from GM plants and wild animals to wild species. Gene transfer from GM plants and animals to wild species. Right. As seen above, people are worried about the risk of antibiotic marker genes and other alien DNA spreading into. Alien DNA is a very funny term because before we called them recombinant, and now they're calling it alien to fit with like media, I suppose. Alien DNA spreading into wild populations and causing problems. As we collect more evidence that there is relatively little contamination of wild plants by genetically modified crops, concerns will diminish. Strong objections to use of strong objections to the use of animals and other organisms for scientific research. Okay, this too, right? Because we hear about like how scientists are probably like torturing animals for research, right? So where does Allah place His anger in those people, right? So some people feel that genetic modification threatens the rights of modified organisms. Some people believe that no benefits to people are more important than the risk to animals of being used in scientific research. Wow. Yeah. That is right? Like what are you even supposed to feel? That is quite the thing. Yeah. Okay, since I'm just gonna do it like this anyway. Damn, this is crazy. What a crazy thing. Really good. Oh, there's more. Hell yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah, it continues to that. Oh my god. Oh, they used an entire page for this. What are you talking about, Amu? Okay. A real concern. A real concern. Okay, okay. Is this the human gene technology thing? Okay, no, that is not. But I will note down that the risk is this. What are some things here that I want to highlight? This was in the early days. Often using the marker gene. So there's a big thing about genes, alien genes, getting into wild plant populations and animal populations. Okay, uh, and so and so other animals will be getting resistant, and so antibiotics will get resistant to those, and therefore will be resistant to the plants. And so now we use different marker genes, right? So which we already talked about before. Um, concern about infertile seeds, this is the same thing, where marker genes contain the thing for making them infertile. Why do they do this? I forgot. I forgot why they do this. This is just dumb. Environmental concerns about the risk of gene transfer and animal stuff. Okay, this is the same thing. This is probably pretty valid, no? Because I don't know how. Yes, care should be taken, but is care taken, right? Is care taken? Slav info fails if I just really info how to fail the request check also found out if it's really even check. Uh, you watch it. Really drink popcorn. It's super illegal to have. You should give it to your for that's what people said. Wait, really? Is it the only person who said drink popcorn? Super illegal? Lamaya. Where was it on? Can your friend try to place it back where it's on the watch? Where the friend's on back. He needs his mommy and warm. So though, there's like a small demo again. Oh, look at all these other subreddits. Pet budgies. Oh, like budgie eaters. Wow. Dang. I'm such a loser. Ha. Oh my god, man. I'm using UAE and I dearly enjoy photography. My favorite bird is sun wasp weaver. Meanwhile, my god, photography touched my favorite one. So happy for this sub. Oh, I bet they did nothing. Alright, I'm done. That's enough. Well, this is gonna be on my mind for the next 2 days, 3 days. It's okay. Actually, 2 days, 3 days. It's gonna be on my mind every time I see a bird. So that's not gonna be fun. It's okay. Lock in, lock in, lock in, lock in while it's up. Foo, 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 foo. It's okay. You know, people. You know, you know. Okay, there's no more summon theme. Next theme is Monumentum. Momentum. Momentum. I really got no idea. Angry Birds would be funny actually, but I won't do that. Bakugo in his explosions as momentum. Or whatever happens here. Go get me the Prime Video Are You Sure clip. Thank you. See. Can I say Nagash? Can I say Nagash? Whatever you wish. Dear Sovereign. Hello. Hi. Yep. Yep. Mm-hmm. This is so gay, guys. I don't like this. Mm. Hashtag epic! Hashtag push up! 1, 2, 3. Can you stop stretching it? Hashtag pain and muscle! Pain and muscle! Yeah! Yes, Yavin. What's up, YouTube? What's up, big YouTube? Big YouTube, big YouTube. Tell me, what's going on? Tell me, tell me. Oh, we've been streaming for a while. I just wanna be your everything. Open up your eyes and let me do 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 do. I just wanna be I just wanna be. I already posted that. Oops. Yep. God damn it. Alright, quick. A real concern. Okay. The moment we start talking about the real concern, I stop reading. A real concern that gene technology will be the property of a few companies in developed countries. Oh, wow. They actually talked about this. Okay. Some people fear that the new advances may be largely biased towards the needs of richer countries. They think je teler matha tel dibe. However, the work in plant-based vaccines and flood and drought-resistant rice is being made available at very low cost in the places where it is needed, which is helping to counter the fear and ensure that the benefits of GM technology are felt by the people who need it the most. Yeah, buddy. Whole দুইটা page লিখছে about the risks of using GM, and all of them they prove that with more research they'll prove to the general consensus, to the public, it's not harmful. You should read this. Personally, just saying. Today, the use of transgenic plants in medicines such as vaccines is relatively new and unknown, so concerns about the risks in the general population are at a low level. Perhaps if media coverage becomes negative, worries will grow. However, it seems likely that in the same way as using GM bacteria microorganisms to produce human medicines, people will accept the benefits of this technology, seeing those benefits as greater than any possible risks. As the scientific evidence builds, okay, did I the profit property? আসে না ছি করো না ছি করবা না হো use of transgenic plants in medicine such as vaccines. So that isn't used much as medicines, but we're using them mainly as not as drugs like insulin. Also, the insulin drug as well as the growth hormone, both of those were not using plants. Both of those were using this thingy. Both of those were using microorganisms. But the vaccine bananas, those were transgenic plants. So transgenic plants is still a relatively new and unknown field of research as opposed to the microorganisms. As the scientific evidence builds, scientists are increasingly convinced of the safety and the value of GM crops. However, as with other GM foods, some people still have concerns about the possible risk. Can you close the door? As scientific evidence builds, scientists are increasingly convinced of the safety and value of GM crops. However, as with other GM food, some people still have concerns about the possible risk, both for humans that use them and for the animals that are used to produce them. Despite this, for the great majority of the world, food security is often an issue An infectious disease and malnutrition still kill huge numbers of people every year. See, this is also important. Like, are you willing to sacrifice the animals for the how many people die to food insecurity, um, and malnutrition every year, right? GM crops and medicines may well offer the difference between survival and death. This chapter shows you some of the areas of concern about gene technology which are being debated. Despite these concerns, many people, including most scientists, feel that the enormous benefits resulting from GM technology development in food production, medicine development, and potential therapies are much greater than any of the risks or ethical obstacles which may arise. When people express concerns about the risk of using GM organisms and medicines in food, it is wise to remember that the risks come from a variety of sources, including starvation. When people express concerns about the risks of using GM organisms in medicine or food, whether that is microorganisms, plants, or animals, it is wise to remember that these risks can come from a wide variety of sources, including starvation, eating poor quality food, and infectious diseases. In the future, the hope is that GM organisms will help us reduce some of these risks, make them part of the solution, not the problem. Beautifully written. Just can we just clap for like Charles Ficker or whatever who wrote this shit? God damn. Wonderful. Will we read this? Absolutely not. No, just read. Can GM crops save the world? Here's a quote from the document produced by the UAE Minister for Water and Environment in conjunction with the United Nations. That is so ironic because they, burn so many fossil fuels or provide so much oil. Anyways, in conjunction with the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, since this document was produced, a number of drought-resistant GM crops, including maize, have been successfully launched and used in a number of African countries and other areas of the world, but progress remains slower than scientists had hoped. Plant biotechnology offers an unprecedented conclusion. Plant biotechnology offers an unprecedented opportunity to address some of the world's most serious issues, including hunger, poverty, and disease. This is because biotechnology can circumvent the species barriers that prevent useful traits from being introduced into plants by conventional breeding. By transferring genes from bacteria, fungi, animals, and sexually incompatible plants into our food crops and medicinal plants, it is possible to improve their agronomic traits and provide them with additional metabolic abilities. Man, this is so freaking dystopian now. Genetic engineering and biotechnology provide good opportunities for the investment and for improvement of food security and food production in Arab countries. However, they have their own challenges that need to be considered by the center. The following questions are relevant to be asked not only as related to Arabic countries, but also developing countries in general. What opportunities exist for biotechnology to contribute towards improving agricultural productivity, expanding markets, and stimulating employment and income generation in Arab countries? And what are the constraints that limit capturing these opportunities and using biotechnological approaches? What opportunities exist for biotechnology to contribute towards improving? So, how will biotechnology contribute towards improving agricultural productivity, expanding the markets, stimulating employment, and income generation in Arab countries? And what are the constraints that limit capturing these opportunities and in using biotechnological approaches? So, how will biotechnology improve agricultural productivity, stimulating markets, stimulating employment, and income generation, stimulating markets, employment, and income generation in Arab countries? What challenges do these countries face in realizing these opportunities and mitigating the risks associated with the use of biotechnology? Without telling them any of the risks that are associated with biotechnology, Lamayo, okay. Considering the important, do we read the right side? No, okay. Considering the important challenges that are encountered by the agricultural sector and its sustainability, which are? Okay, that's what they mean. And its sustainability in the Arab countries, it seems that the new biotech crop applications offer enormous potential benefits in the second decade of commercialization, 2016 to 2015. In terms of meeting increased food feed and fiber demands in the Arab world and contributing to more prosperity for both producers and consumers. Of particular importance are the genes for drought tolerance that are underdeveloped in both the private and public sector. These genes for drought tolerance are genes that very few farmers in the world can afford to have to be without, and this is particularly true for the rain-fed dryland areas that typify much of typify oh typify typify definition. Typify means to embody, exemplify, or to represent, to portray stereotypically, to serve as an example, as a typical or reference specimen of. Exemplify means to act as an example, doesn't it? Exemplify means to show or illustrate by example. Okay, these are pretty important words. You are used to exemplify why bad behavior is bad. Okay, that's funny. Okay. I can do this later. Technically. I shall probably sleep right now. I shall probably sleep right now. Yeah. I thought if I do any passport questions, I'll be doing them tonight without streaming. Um, what else? But tomorrow morning I'm gonna wake up hopefully inshallah early. I have not heard it. It's 10 o'clock. That's not good. Okay, yeah. So right now it's just eat dinner, pray, shit, go to sleep, and then tomorrow wake up and do QBs, topicals. I know I wanted to do topicals today, but I wasted so much time. So that didn't work out. Well, I did a lot of extra research as well, so that's like meh. But yeah, that's it. Okay, guys. Yeah, see you. This was fun. This was really fun. Yep. Before I go, I just want to see if anybody commented on the stream, and if they did, I'm just gonna reply to them, and then I'm just gonna go. Cause man, there was a lot of time for people to comment, like a lot during study times and during like some embarrassing moments as well. But I doubt this got any views. Let's see. Damn, the video passed 200 views. Let's go. Sweet business. Sweet business, I tell you. Sweet business, I tell you. Sweet business. Someone liked my stream. Okay. Did anyone like say anything, Lamayo? No? How do I check like my live my I am live. Stream. It says that I'm not streaming, even though on the other tab it says that I'm having a live video. Okay. Zero concurrent viewers. Boom! Chakalaka. Oi! I'm Trax? Oh, is Azim. Okay. Average watch duration 3 minutes. 53 seconds. Okay. Yep. That's what I would have done. Yep. Yo, what are we reading? By the way, your mic volume is very low. Is this scam when your exam, dude? Dude, you might want to read chat. You know, I'm studying on my own. Just saying, like sometimes people want to interact and stuff. Just maybe it would be a good idea. Like obviously I'm not an expert, but like yeah, wow, bro, you are so insecure. Chill. I don't really care. That's a lot of chat messages. No, you're right. You're right. Maybe I should care. Okay, I want to hear what my voice sounds like. Chill, bro. Can I can I like is the thingy on? Like the is the voice suppression on? Yeah, it is. Okay. Maybe this would make it better then, but also make it a lot like unbearable to listen to. I don't know. When did he type? Two people at the same time. That's crazy. Oh, what did he come during a time where it's like I was reading on Reddit and that's funny. I should really talk to Azim more. Okay, yeah. Yikes. Okay, bye. Not a very not a very happy end to the stream, no. But oh my god, that's funny as hell. Okay, bye. Assalamualaikum. Walaikum yeah. Okay, man. I'm just a disappointment to the whole generation, no? Ah, why am I talking like this? Ugh.